What's up, Leafs Nation? Welcome back to another game preview. I'm Zack Phillips, and today we're going to be taking a look at game number 6 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season as the 3-2 Maple Leafs play host to the 3-1 Tampa Bay Lightning. To kick this one off for this week, one game on the NHL schedule tonight, a standalone game, the Monday night Amazon Prime game. Kind of excited here. We get an opportunity to see this a little bit new look Lightning team. No Sergachev, no Steven Stamkos, and yet they're still on a roll. I mean, you look over at the NHL standings and look at the top 4 teams. You're going to see the Panthers, the Bruins, the Maple Leafs, and the Lightning. Surprise, surprise, all those teams in at the top there. And it just feels like this is the way it's going to shake out as we look through the remainder of the season and we get to the playoffs. Just rinse and repeat. The same teams, the same matchups. Nonetheless, excited for tonight's game. Let's dig into this Maple Leafs lineup as we look to go head-to-head with this Lightning team and some of the changes that we're going to see from the past couple of days. So, courtesy of the Daily Faceoff, the lines that we see that were just updated as a couple of minutes ago before we kicked off this recording. We're going to look at the top line. No changes. Nyes, Matthews, Marner. No notes on that. I like the way it is there. The BMW line stays intact. Bobby, Max, Willie. McMahon, Domi, Nylander, that second line will remain the same, and I think it should. Continue to create a lot in the game the other day. I think that they're a good line. I think they fit well together, and I think that this is the way that we can get the most out of William Nylander, which to me, at this moment, is one of the more important things that you can do for shaping out the rest of the lines and creating some type of depth of attack. Third line, a little bit different here. Max Pacioretty, just healthy scratch for the last 2 games, slots back in. There will be a change in this lineup. Pontus Holmberg took a lot of heat from Craig Berube after the last game, and I think deservingly so. It was something we talked about in the post-game show on Saturday following the game against the New York Rangers. I brought it up. I know you guys in the chat were bringing it up a lot as well. Pontus Holmberg and Nick Robertson have not been very good for John Tavares here. JT's taken a step back. He deserves to be the third-line center, but his line mates have not been helping him, and he has not looked great through the first couple of games here himself, and I think that a lot of it has to do with the guys he's been playing with. Holmberg demoted down to the 4th line here. We heard Berube say it. He looks a step behind. He looks like he's a little bit behind the play out there right now. He hasn't looked great through the beginning, so a demotion comes to Pontus Holmberg. You get kind of chewed out in the media by your coach. Ryan Reeves comes out of the lineup. I think some of that just makes sense with, hey, he's not going to be an overly impactful player, a guy who can take over a game or anything like that for your 4th line. He's not going to be as impactful as a guy like Steven Lorentz, and he's older. You give him a little bit of a rest. Unless you think there's a surefire fight in the lineup that he's going to have to take on or a situation that he's going to have to be involved in, then okay, yeah, you're fine to sit him out. Probably okay to sit him out here tonight and light a little bit of a fire under Pontus Holmberg's ass. So third line, Pacioretty slots back in after 2 games out, John Tavares at center, and Nick Robertson on the right wing. Need a lot from that line here tonight. Third line hasn't been good. 4th line, pretty good. Third line, not so much. We need more out of them. 4th line, Lorentz, Kampf, those guys stay the same. Pontus Holmberg, as I just mentioned, demoted from the 3rd line onto that 4th line. Let's see if he can bring anything new here for this lineup tonight. So for those guys, that's what we're going to get out of the forward group and the changes we see for them. Kicking it on down to the defensive pairings, no changes from last game. We're going to stay Morgan Riley and Chris Tanev, pairing number 1. There was a scare on the injury for Chris Tanev. He blocked a shot on the outside of his knee against the Rangers on Saturday night, left down the tunnel, did return to the game. No issues there. Looks like he's going to be good to go for tonight. Ekman-Larsson, McCabe, 2-pair, perfect. Simone Benoit, Connor Timmins. Timothy Liljegren stays out of the lineup. Connor Timmins stays in here. Berube, very clearly not a fan of what Timothy Liljegren does for this team. Sliding down to our power play units, this is where we're going to see some changes. First unit stays the same. Marner, Tavares, Nylander, Matthews, Ekman-Larsson. That group stays intact. Fine with that. I think that Ekman-Larsson's a good fit in there. I would like to see maybe a change here at some point with putting someone new into this power play unit. I don't know who it is. My recommendation would be Matthew Knies. I don't know if they stick with that. I don't know if they want to put Pacioretty in there, but breaking these guys up. They seem to have trouble. They seem to be overthinking it. You need to put an end to that here at some point and just play simple hockey and put the goddamn puck in the back of the net, because you have some of the most skilled players in the entire world, and you have really been struggling with that recently. Second unit, this is where the changes come. So Riley obviously stays there. Bobby McMahon kicked out of the second unit. Max Pacioretty going to fill in for him. So Riley, Knies, Domi, Pacioretty, Robertson. That will be your second power play unit for tonight. As for the goaltenders, I have not seen anything for the Maple Leafs that would indicate it would not be Stolarz going here tonight. I think he's confirmed to be going as well. Like, that was the most recent reports that I saw. The most recent out of the Tampa Bay Lightning that I just saw was Vasilevsky will be going for them. Actually just getting that notification right now as recording that Vasilevsky will be in net for the Lightning. So it feels like this could be a play to the under here. A tight game between these two teams. Hard checking, playoff style hockey. Stolarz, Vasilevsky, good goaltenders, good goaltending matchup. That would be an interesting one to follow from a total perspective. But I'm not betting on the total here tonight. I don't want to dip my toe into that. I want to cheer for some high, fast-paced, exciting hockey, and I think the bet that I'm going to give out will lean to that point as well. So now let's get to our best bet for tonight's game. I want to remind people this segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame show and the Leafs Nation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. So whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Use code TLNBonus. That's TLNBONUS when you sign up today. Let's take a look at what we've got over on Bet365 for our best bet tonight. I gave it out. We're tracking it all on the sheet. We're going to keep it all updated. As for our record this year, we are 2-4. We're going to be... There's 5 games that have been played. I gave out 2 on Saturday night. One I thought was actually a very good bet. The other one was more of a fun, I saw something out on the street. It was a superstition thing. Good vibes. Jake McCabe anytime goal. Doesn't happen. He did get a couple shots on net, though. A couple chances through. So every time I saw him wind up, I was holding my breath thinking, hey, maybe we're going to get one here and we're going to hit big. But doesn't happen. Now, for tonight, we are down 0.46 units on the season as of right now. So we're down just less than half a unit. If you're following along and proper unit sizing and everything, as I highly recommend you do, please gamble responsibly, manage your bankroll. That's where you'll find us down 0.46 units on the season. That would be $46 we have now lost, just based on where we're starting with and how we're betting these things out and the amounts that we're wagering on some of these bets. Tonight's game, we only have the one NHL game for us here tonight, and it is between the Maple Leafs and Tampa Bay Lightning, so it's going to be all eyes on this matchup. And I feel like these are the kind of games where things aren't necessarily as normal. Yes, you're going to get some involvement from the big boys, and they need to be involved, but I don't necessarily think that this screams, hey, big boys score the goals game here tonight. It's always the weird, unlikely heroes. It's McDonough who's scoring for Tampa Pervix, or you're going to get a guy like, Nick Paul who just ends up dominating you and really is not a huge goal scorer, point getter, but finds ways in these games. For the Leafs, I feel like it's going to be somewhat of an unlikely hero as well, and that's the direction that I want to go. So if we go and look over at Bet365 and what they're offering, I mentioned under 6.5 at -110, I think is a very interesting bet. I think is a good bet, especially considering who these guys are and the way that they're going to play, the way the Leafs want to play right now, and who's in net on both sides for tonight, Stolarz and Vasilevsky. So under 6.5 I think is good, but that's not my best bet. Let's go over to the goal scorer market. I'm taking a swing here again. If you guys would rather the -110s and stuff, you let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to change some things up, but I feel like we can take some shots on some of these fun markets. So tonight, I'm going to be looking. You're going to have to click that Show More tab over on Bet365. You're going to scroll down to the section where you're going to find some guys sitting in there at +700, +750. And my best bet for tonight is going to be Oliver Ekman-Larsson plus 750. That is tonight's best bet. And we're going to be putting 0.25 of a unit on this one. 0.25 of a unit for Oliver Ekman-Larsson to score at plus 750. Now, for those of you wondering how much that's going to pay out for us, $25 will profit you $187. $187 profit on your 0.25 unit bet, $25 bet. So Ekman-Larsson at plus 750 is my best bet for tonight. The reasoning behind this one is this. He's getting some looks on power play number one. He's going to be taking over that role. I think that they're going to need him to shoot more. Not want him to shoot more, need him to shoot more, because Morgan Rielly in that role was not a threat. He was not a guy who would take shots from the point. He was not willing to do it. There was not much being generated when he was out there. It wasn't keeping the other team honest. Ekman-Larsson in his couple of games has been much more of a threat and has been a guy that other teams have had to look to. When you think about these games and you think about guys mucking it up in front of the net and the opportunities he's getting late game when you need a goal, the opportunities he's getting when he's on the second pairing playing with some of these top two lines here, he is a guy who is going to have to shoot the puck and be relied upon a little bit more. You need some scoring from your defense. He's capable of jumping up. He's capable of transitioning up ice with the play. He is a very smart defenseman. Offensively, he's been showing us he's actually really good defensively here now. I just feel like at some point it's more likely than not for him to get on the board, especially with this power play. But plus 750 to score a goal if he's going to be firing from the point. He almost had one the other day against the Rangers on Shesterkin, put one through, wasn't expecting it, just hits Shesterkin. It feels like it's building to a point where OEL will score a goal here with this power play unit, and if not with the power play, 5-on-5, I think he still has a great chance at as well. So that's tonight's best bet. Let me know in the comments below if you like this one, if you'll be tailing it, if you've got your own best bet. I look forward to hearing it all. Thank you to everyone who watched the video. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel, The Leafs Nation 401 on YouTube. Subscribe here, turn on notifications so you get notified when these videos drop, when Leafs Morning Take comes out, and when we go live on the Leafs Nation After Dark show, which we will be doing tonight following Game 6 against Tampa Bay. And jokingly, obviously, just keep in mind, Jay Rosehill joining the show here tonight. Rosie joining the show, bad track record. Feels like every time Rosie joins, the Leafs lose. Something to keep in mind. That's all I'm saying. Something to keep in mind for tonight. Hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. We'll see you tonight following the game. As always, keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.